Hello friends, welcome back to another session of Core Java tutorials. Today we will see this keyword. A method is invoked on an object. So we call a method on an object. Sometimes the method wants to refer to the object on which it is called. So to do that, Java provides a mechanism using this keyword. So this keyword refers to the current object, or this is always a reference to the object on which the method was called. So it refers to the current object on which the method is called. So method wants to refer to the object, so it will be doing it by using this keyword. So where to use this keyword? This keyword can be used inside the methods. So this keyword is used inside the methods. You can use this inside the constructors. And we'll see what are the various, there are many uses of this keyword, but we'll see some of them. This keyword is used to instance variable hiding, invoke current class method, invoke current class constructor, pass an argument in the method call, pass an argument in the constructor call, return the current call instance from the method. So we'll see one by one with a program. The first usage of this keyword is instance variable hiding. So we'll try to understand this with certain examples, with certain scenarios. So it is illegal to have two local variables with the same name. So here the parameter is having a variable A, and here there is another variable which is local to method M1. Both the local variables are having the same name, and it is illegal to have such kind of things. Okay, right. But it is legal to have the instance variables, names of the instant variables, and the local parameters to be same. Okay, so the names of the instance variable and the name of the local variables can be same. So it is legal. Okay, so you won't get any syntax error in this scenario. But it would be difficult for the compiler to actually distinguish between which is local variable and which is instance variable. And so to distinguish or to resolve this kind of name collision, okay, so to resolve this kind of name collision, we'll be using this keyword. So what happens over here is, this is the instance variable and this is the local variable. Okay, so the local variable will be hiding the instance variable. So when you try to assign the value of this local variable to the instance variable in this particular constructor, so maybe I am saying A is equal to A. Now what will happen is, so the output of this particular program will be, say I am passing 100 in place of A. So what will be the output? Generally we think that 100 is assigned to A, and the output, when if I try to print this particular instance variable, then you may think that the output will be 100. But no, in this case you don't get any syntax errors, but the output will be the default value of the integer value, which will be, so the output of this will be 0. Okay, so the reason is because the compiler will be confused and the local variable will hide the instance variable. So to resolve this kind of naming collision, we'll be using this keyword. Okay, so how do I rectify this problem? So I'll be rectifying this problem by simply adding this dot A. When I add this dot A over here, what happens is your compiler will clearly understand that this is the instance variable because it is invoking on the object, current object. Remember what I told you in the beginning of this video, that this refers to the current object. Whatever object you are calling, it refers to that. Say for example, I am saying test OB is equal to new test. Okay, so this OB, so this refers to this OB. Okay, so it will in turn be like OB dot A is equal to something that you are trying to assign. So here A, it will understand clearly that this is the instance variable and this is the local variable, and 100 will be assigned to the instance variable, and this time the output will be 100 if you print the value of the instance variable A. So this keyword is used for this. The major utilization of this is only in this particular scenario. some programmers, okay, so there are two solutions, like whether you will be using this keyword or not. You can have, so if there might be a doubt in your mind that you can use this to, instead of using this keyword, you can use different names for the instance variables and the local variables. Yes, that is absolutely possible, and you can do that also. But sometimes when you are having many arguments, okay, and you want to assign them, if you are here, maybe for example, I say that in the box class itself, I'm having weight, height, and depth, and so certain things like this. And if I'm trying to use different naming convention, and then I'm saying x, y, z inside as the parameters, I'm saying double x and double y and double z. So there will be a confusion, like whether x is for weight and y is for height, or x is for some other variable. So there is confusion, okay. So to avoid this confusion, many programmers, okay, so most of the programmers feel that the instance variables and the local variable names should be same, okay, to avoid confusion, okay. But instead you can just either use this keyword to resolve this naming collision, or you can also use different names for the instance variables and the local variables. It is up to what you prefer to, okay. So this is regarding instance variable hiding. Okay friends, take a look at this particular program. So this is to demonstrate invoke current class method usage of this keyword. So herein there is a test class. Inside this test class there are two instance methods, M1 and M2, and we are trying to invoke M1 over here by using an object OB, okay. So M1 is called on the object OB. So what happens at this particular method call, the control comes over here, and this statement inside the method will be executed, and welcome to will be printed on the screen for us. And there is a next statement over here in M1, which is M2. So M1 is invoking M2, okay. So what your compiler will do over here is, because this is happening on the object OB, so your compiler will implicitly add this over here before this M2 method. So this dot M2 method. So M2 method is called on the object OB. Okay, right, on the object OB. So now the control comes over here. Even if you write this dot M2 or you don't write this over here, it is totally valid. Okay, but even if you don't write, your compiler will add this implicitly to the code. So M2 method will be executing on object OB, and this will print on the screen, so which is welcome to. So the statement in M2 is Sudha's Java class. So this will be the output. Once M2 is executed, so there is nothing to execute again. So this program will end over here. So this is how you can use this keyword to invoke current class method. Okay friends, this keyword is also used to reuse the constructor. So invoke current class constructor. So the purpose of doing this is to reuse the constructor. So you can use the constructor again, and also for the chaining of the constructor. From one constructor you can call another constructor. Say you're having more than one constructor inside your program, and by using this keyword you can have constructor chaining. Take a look at this particular program. So this program is having two constructors. One is no args constructor and the other one is taking one argument in it. Okay, so we are calling the constructor which is parameterized constructor, and we are passing 100 into it. So what happens is this constructor will be called, okay, so with an argument, and 100 is passed into x. So x is holding 100 now. So as soon as inside this constructor, what I am doing is I am making a call to the no args constructor by using this keyword. Okay, so this is used for chaining, constructor chaining. I can call from one constructor to another constructor, wherein reuse of the constructor happens over here, because constructor is called only once when the object is created. So to reuse the constructor, we can use this keyword. Okay, so now I am using this over here. So what happens is the noargs constructor is called because there is no argument inside this particular call. So noargs constructor will be called, and on the output screen what will happen is this will be printed inside noargs constructor, and the control comes back and prints system.out.println x. So the output will be inside noargs constructor and then 100. So that will be the output over here. And always remember, whenever you are using this inside the constructor, it should be the first statement. So whenever you are using this inside the constructor, remember that this should be the first statement. Okay, it should be the first statement. If you are writing this system.out.println statement first, and then if you are writing this over here, then you will be getting a compilation error. So don't do that. Whenever you are writing this statement, make sure that it is the first statement inside your constructor. Okay, so this is how you invoke the current class constructor. So let us try to understand constructor chaining over here. So I have called the default constructor. So test. So what happens now, the control comes to this particular constructor, which is noargs constructor, and inside this I am making a call to the constructor, and this is the first statement, and I am saying this 5. So what happens when I said this 5, what happens? So the constructor with one argument is called. So this constructor is called, and 5 is passed into A. Now A is holding the value of 5. And inside this constructor, I am making a call to the constructor which is having 2 arguments. So A is holding 5. So this is again passed to A over here. So A is holding 5 and 10 is passed to B. Now I am setting the values of the instance variables A and B. So 5 is set to A and 10 is set to B. Okay. So, and I am trying to print the values of A and B. Return current class object. How do you do that? You will be doing that by using this statement. So, you will say return this. Will return the object. Okay. So, herein I am calling, I am creating an object OB inside the main method, and I am calling a method by using the object OB.set. So, what happens is the control comes to this particular method. Okay, so inside this method what we are doing, we are setting the value of A. So A's value is now set to 100, and I am saying return this. What is this? This refers to the current object. So what should be the return type of the method? The return type of the method should be the class name. Okay, because we are returning the object, and this object is of this class, so we should be having the return type of the method to be the class name. So remember this, friends. Okay, so don't make this mistake. Whenever you are saying return this, the return type of the method should be the class name for which you are creating this object. Okay, so now here in since the return type of this method is a class, so here this will to catch this particular return type, you also need to have an object over here. So I am saying OB is equal to OB.set. So else it will be an error. Okay, so don't make that mistake. And so I am trying to print the value of A by using the object OB.A. So what will be the output? So the output will be 100, which is printed on the screen for us. Okay, so this is how you will be using return this. The next usage of this, pass an argument in method call. Okay, so herein we are invoking the method M1. So what happens? The control comes to the method M1. So inside method 1 we are calling M2 on the current object. So you can simply say M2 also without actually passing the argument this over here. It works fine even if you do that. Okay, so even if I simply say M2, this works. Okay, so both are similar, but generally we'll be using this kind of scenario in event handling. Okay, so both are same. Okay, so even if I say M2, what happens? I already told you that it will be calling M2 on the current object. So both are fine, but I'm just trying to give you an example wherein you can also pass this as an argument. So that's what I'm trying to explain over here. Okay, right. So when I pass this, what happens is, when I call this with an argument, this what happens, this is an object. Okay, so M2 is called. Now the control comes over here, and since this is referring to an object, so here it should be an object of the class type. So this is an object of test type, so we are saying test obj. Okay, right. And inside this method we are simply printing hi on the screen, so the output will be hi. Okay, so this is a simple example to understand that we can pass this as an argument. So we'll see another usage of this wherein we are passing this as an argument inside the constructor. So we'll start with the main method. So inside the main method we are making a call to the class constructor A. So the control comes to the constructor A. So inside the constructor A, we are creating an object of class B, and we are passing this A. Okay, so A is passed over here. So this A refers to the object of the class A. Okay, so since we are calling the constructor of B, what happens now? The control goes to the constructor of B. So as I said, like the argument is this, which is the object of the class A. So herein, to catch this, we are having object A, object obj. Okay, A is the class A. Okay, so inside this what we are doing is we are setting the object reference. So we said this dot obj is equal to obj. So herein we are setting the obj to the current object. Okay, fine. So this is all done. Okay, so now again, after all this, the control comes back to this particular b dot display. So we are saying b dot display. So what happens when I said b dot display? Now this method is called, and this method, inside this method we are saying obj dot data. Okay, so what is obj here? Obj is the object A's reference. Okay, A is the reference of the object of the class A. Okay, so A dot data. So what is A dot data? So when I said A dot data, now it is referring to the data of a class A through the object of A. So what is the so this is data. Okay, so A dot data so refers to this 40. Okay, so system.out.println will print 40 on the screen for us. Okay friends, so this is how you can pass the object as a parameter into the constructor. These are all the 6 uses of this keyword. Hope this video is helpful to you. In my upcoming videos, I will show you the execution of all these programs, and I will post a quiz. Keep watching my upcoming videos. Stay home, stay safe, happy learning. Bye.